Hi everybody, and a very warm welcome to the Angel of the North podcast with me, Lorraine Marin. And it's really great to have you here with me. Some of you guys might know me from Instagram and from my other social media platforms, but I now feel that the time is right to reach more people. So after listening to your feedback, I have decided to make a series of my own podcasts so I could help you, the listeners, on your own healing journey. And I really look forward to seeing your questions and suggestions. So hopefully we can together help you be the best version of your spiritual self. Before I begin to chat about my amazing abilities as a Reiki master, medical intuitive, spiritual medium, and my work with the Angelic realm, aka angels. Yes, you did hear me correctly, and I bet that grabbed your attention, didn't it? Well, I have seen these beautiful beings since I was born, but before I begin, I would like you all to sit down, get those feet up, and take a couple of deep breaths in and out, as this will help you to relax. I can most certainly promise that my podcasts are going to be both exciting and relaxing, and trust me, a little dark in places. So I'll just warn you now, so these are not for the faint-hearted. But it is important that you, the listener, walks away both shocked and soothed with the realization that life, death and healing aren't as far apart as we think. Right, are you all cozy? Here goes. Since I was born, or actually for as long as I can remember, I have had the ability to see angels. Growing up, I never ever recall seeing my angelic friends with wings. I just simply saw them like you and I. So how do you know that they were angels, I hear you say? And to be fair, this is a question I get asked rather a lot. And I'm hoping that my answer doesn't sound crazy, but angels actually talk to me telepathically. I have never ever felt afraid in their presence. And I suppose I've just grown up with them as my second family. I just knew that from the very beginning that one day I would actually be talking about angels, not just within the Northeast, but actually to the world. And yes, I am actually shitting myself, as I'm definitely no stranger to being called mental. I do trust these beautiful beings more than I would ever trust anyone walking in a physical body. Angels have stuck around through the worst turbulent times, as well as the amazing times in my life. To be fair, they do actually drive me mad. Sometimes they are so biblical in the way that they speak. So this little Geordie lass sometimes struggled to understand their messages. It could also kind of be said though that the Geordie dialect is a little bit hard to understand too, as we do tend to talk really quickly, and especially when we're really, really excited. As I've said, I've never ever felt lonely in my early years. And I suppose, on reflection, I may have seemed like a detached child, or as my dad used to say to me mum, Anne, she's daydreaming again. As a small child, I was pretty much joined at the hip with me lovely kind mum. I would suffer from extreme anxiety, and I always approached bedtime with fear, as I would frequently experience night terrors. And I still, to this very day, have very, very vivid memories of the walls of my bedroom disappearing, revealing nothing but an array of darkness. My body, however, was completely weightless, and I would really try my hardest to scream, but nothing ever seemed to come out of my mouth. I suppose I can now articulate these episodes as astral projection, and this is something that I will talk about in future podcasts. But even during these horrific experiences, my angels were always close by, and I clearly remember being reassured, and I was told on more than one occasion that what I was actually seeing and feeling was for my higher good. It was always quite a gentle voice, but slightly stern at the same time, as this was clearly to prepare me for the darkness I would encounter as my role as a healer in adult life. My job is clearly not all unicorns and rainbows, and I plan to tell you somewhat darker stories of cord cutting and soul retrieval, to name but a few, in some later podcasts, as well as uplifting and inspirational stories, of course, because anyone who knows me will know I like to always balance the good with the not so good. Now let's get back to angels. Angels are very loving entities and kept me grounded throughout my childhood, and actually keep me very grounded in my adult life. But it was my mum. My mum gave me the love that I required in human form. She accepted me weirdness. Even in my adult life, she was my protector and my biggest cheerleader. I miss her so very much, and it's taken some courage to even talk about it on this podcast, because there's like millions of other people out there. I'm actually walking in a human body, and grief doesn't discriminate just because I talk and say angels. My heart still aches just like everyone else's. I was born in the 1970s, so my early childhood, memories that I can take from my childhood are the sounds from artists like ABBA and kids playing in the street. And to be fair, it was just carnage, really. This era was relatively safe, and I would often, at the age of 8, take myself off down the street to a little park area, and I would absolutely sit for hours with my angels, just chatting and listening. Absolutely no wonder I was branded strange. As an adult, I can now see why. Right, picture this scene. Little lass sitting on a grassy hill, talking away to absolutely no one. I, herself. At no point did I think I was strange, as I suppose deep down I was hoping that others would see my beautiful angelic mates. Sadly not. And even my own mother would have to ask my siblings to let me play, to let me join in, and it was an absolute chore for me mum to do this. So in future episodes, I would actually like to chat about how you, the listener, can learn to connect with your angels by giving you a full beginner's guide to these amazing angelic beings. So stay tuned. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, I will leave my details underneath. Equally, I will also leave my website so you can contact me via there, and also just leave your thoughts and your comments, because obviously without the listeners I wouldn't be able to do this podcast. So be safe, be fabulous, and I will hear from you all very soon. Lots of love.